Welcome to Sensational Living with Liliana. I hope you've had a great week. We are going to do a great light summer salad. Summer's almost over with, but we want to enjoy every last minute. Get out in your garden, tend to your garden because it's going to be winter pretty soon, and we're going to see everything kind of go back in and retract. So as much expansion as we can do right now, get outside, go on for a walk. We're going this weekend to a ranch and going to spend a great time on a farm. So I'm really looking to doing that and spending a lot of time just earthing and grounding and connecting with nature. So the salad we're going to make today is a poached salmon spinach salad with a creamy dill dressing. It's absolutely delicious and it's going to be really light. A lot of salads, when you do spinach salad, they slightly wilted, but I just like the freshness of it, and I'm going to saute a few vegetables, so with the heat of those vegetables it will wilt that lettuce just enough, but it'll still remain really crisp. So I'm going to go ahead and start with the dill dressing, and you want to do this probably at least 30 to an hour ahead of time, and then that way all of the herbs that I'm going to use, they marinate and they blend very beautifully. Beautiful marriage with this wonderful dressing, full of flavor and a little bit of pungent because of the lemon juice. Now it is going to have some dairy in it. I have some sour cream in it, and sour cream we are able to use on a ketogenic diet. We use it sparingly. There is for every 2 tablespoons of sour cream, it's 2 grams of carbohydrate, so it's actually really quite low. So when we use it as a condiment or we use it in a sauce, we can get away with those little amount of sugar, because spinach in and of itself, 10 cups is only 9 grams of carbohydrates. So it will still fit into that keto meal for those of you who are looking to maintain your slim figure or get to one, or to heal any sort of inflammation. So let's go ahead and get started with the salad dressing. I'm going to use my Vitamix, my favorite tool on earth, and I'm going to just start out by putting 3 tablespoons of fresh lemon juice, and you could probably use lime as well. And I always correct the seasoning afterwards if I want it a little bit more tart or not. I'm going to put 1 cup of organic mayonnaise. I love making my own mayonnaise. It's so super easy. That way you can control the ingredients. You're not going to get any soy oil in there or canola oil or any funky oils. So again, a good organic mayonnaise with a little olive oil looks good. And then I'm going to use organic sour cream. I'm going to add 3 tablespoons of olive oil. Just best quality olive oil. I'm going to put about, I'd say, a good tablespoon of shallots. I'm just going to keep them whole because I'm just going to throw them in there, and about 2 garlic cloves. So these are pretty, one's a large side, one is just a little medium side there, so you can, however pungent that you might like with the garlic. Garlic is awesome because it's like an antiviral, antibacterial, so we like to use it a lot. The allicin is awesome. Then I'm going to put I'm going to go ahead and do this now. I'm going to put about a handful of parsley. Now you want to cut the stems out. I found a little stem in there, but we're going to put about a handful. So you're going to see there about that much, just about a handful. And I'm also going to put about, if I were to chop this up, this would be a good full tablespoon. That is dill. Okay, let's give this a whirl. I'm going to add, actually I'm going to go ahead and add it now. I'm going to put a tablespoon of Worcestershire sauce. Actually, I'm going to start out with a teaspoon because I can always adjust it as we go along. And I'm going to put the salt in at the very end. 1. Okay. I like that taste of that Worcestershire sauce, so I probably will add a little bit more. Okay, let's go ahead and get this a whirl. And I started off on low, just so we can get the herbs down there nicely. Put up a little higher. have a look at it. Easy as pie. I love things that are easy because it makes you want to cook more. And this will last in your refrigerator for, I'd say, probably a good, well, it probably won't last that long because you're going to be eating it pretty quickly as far as it's so yummy. But I say it would last definitely a good 3 days. I'm going to add just a little teeny bit more Worcestershire on that. And so, again, when you're tasting this, you don't want to feel the acidity in the back of your throat. And I felt this a little bit, so I'm going to add just a drop of stevia as well. So I'm going to go ahead and add a little teeny bit more. So I've got, now this will be 3 teaspoons of the Worcestershire. Okay. Might as well go ahead and now add the salt. Now I'm going to start out with about a teaspoon salt, or half a teaspoon. You can always add and adjust. I'm going to grab that little teeny bit. Actually, Selena, can you get out of the cupboard the stevia? It's right there on the second shelf. My little helpers, I love it. Love to have a sous chef here all the time. That'd be so great. Okay. Thank you much, of course. And a lot of people don't like the taste of stevia. They think it's slightly bitter. The only reason I don't use honey is because it has, or even agave, because it has 17 carbohydrates per teaspoon. Gosh, that's more than even most of you can have on a ketogenic diet if you are a woman. And so we don't want to waste it on the sweetness. So if we add a drop or 2 of stevia, I think we'll be just fine. And it blends so nicely, you won't really be able to taste it. You won't get that bitterness that you would if you were sometimes putting it in a drink. I have no problem with it at all. I've gotten really used to it. Okay. Now let's give it a taste here. So again, when I first tasted it, it was just a little teeny bit in the back of my throat. I could feel a little of the acidity. Now I'm going to let this marinate for half an hour so it will really kind of pull in all the flavors, and then you can taste it again. And if it still feels just a little teeny bit too lemony, you can add just a little teeny bit more olive oil just to blend it out a little bit, okay? So I'm going to go ahead and put this in the fridge. That's going to be great. Selena, can you pop that in the fridge for me?
Yeah.
That'd be great. All right. So we're going to go ahead and start the bell peppers. I'm going to poach the salmon last. Now what you want to do is about 30 minutes before you are going to prepare, well, what I do is I salt it a little bit, not much, and I put it in the refrigerator and then 30 minutes before I'm going to poach it, I take it out so that it comes to room temperature. So again, a little bit of salt prior to, stick it in the refrigerator, 30 minutes before you're going to poach, go ahead and pull it out. Okay. So I'm just going to go ahead and put a little bit of avocado oil. I like that because that's a good heating point to it. About a tablespoon or so, tablespoon and a half maybe. Okay, we'll let that get hot. Now, I don't want to really overcook any of my vegetables because I want them to maintain a crispness. And a lot of times people will put mushrooms in salad raw. Well, I'm not really opposed to it. It's a fungi, so I like to cook it just a little teeny bit, just so that it makes it a little bit more, I would say, appropriate to eat, it being a fungi. So I'm going to go ahead and throw that in there. Now, this should serve 4 people. And so this is just 1 bell pepper. I just julienned it thinly. You don't want it big chunks because everything should be delicately just marinating together beautifully. So we don't want to have anything that's kind of out of context there. So we'll let that get going. Now what you're going to want to do with your poaching liquid, and there's many ways to do this, but this is one of my favorite ways, is I take 1 cup of wine, it's white wine, and about 3 cups of chicken broth. Now a lot of people just use water, so it's up to you how you want to do this. and I put in all the herbs that I have outside. So I've got thyme in there, and I've got dill, and I have parsley, I've got garlic in there, a little bit of shallots in there. So I let it cook for about 30 minutes. And just so that it picks up all those beautiful flavors again, so I have a wonderful poaching liquid that's got a lot of flavor. And then I'm going to strain it. So I'm going to go ahead and do that now. And what you want is you want to be able to cover the fish. So if you don't have enough poaching liquid, you can always add a little bit more chicken broth to it. I think we're pretty good there. Keep the rest in case I need it. Set that aside. I'm going to go ahead and start my poaching liquid now. This is going to be a really fast recipe. This is what's so nice. If you can come in the kitchen, if you're prepared and you've got everything in the refrigerator, it shouldn't really take you that long to make a fabulous meal. And again, if you can enlist your children or your husband to come in and partner up with you, have fun, laugh, have a good time, talk about the day. You know, it's one way that my daughter and I used to have a lot of fun together, and she learned how to cook that way. I'd enlist her in helping me, and we'd have conversation about her day, and you know, I got a lot of good information through that time when we shared our cooking time together. So again, I don't want to overcook these, so they're just warm nicely. So I'm going to just give that a few more minutes. Now I've got my spinach here, and I would say approximately about 3 cups at the minimal for each person. And so again, it's super low on the carbohydrate. When you cook this, obviously it reduces down quite a bit. This way it has all of its wonderful fiber. When you cook it, it lets out a lot of that water. That's why it's so wonderful for weight loss, because it actually releases, gives us lots of minerals and iron and calcium, vitamin A. It's just a wonderful chlorophyll-rich food. And whenever we're eating any kind of an animal product, we always want to add a chlorophyll-rich food to it, just so that we can try to balance the amines to this, okay? I'm going to add just a little bit of salt to this and a little bit of pepper. And that was one thing I just realized, I didn't add any pepper to my salad dressing, so I will definitely do that when I take it back out. So, since I'm not going to make it for 4 because it's not time for my husband to come home, so I'm only going to use part of the bell peppers in the salad. But when you're making this, you want to serve this all really, really hot. So I'm only going to put a few of these in, and then I'm going to put the rest and save it for later when he gets home. So his is wonderful, and it's got that little teeny bit of wiltedness to it that we're looking for. And I'm just going to keep the rest of these out. Good. I'm going to go ahead and see how my poaching liquid is looking pretty good. So I've got it bubbling just right, and I'm going to go ahead and add my salmon. And of course you want to get wild caught salmon, and you want to put skin side down. So you just gently drop it in there. And then so you can see if you're going to need to have a little teeny bit more liquid on there, okay? I think we can fit all 4 in there nicely. Oh, perfect. I'm going to just throw a nice little lemon over the top of each one of these. Beautiful. We're going to let it bubble up a little bit, and then I'm going to reduce the heat down. So I see there's a little teeny bit more space that I can add a little bit more broth here. There we go. Perfect. Do you want to kind of zoom in on that, Selena, so you can kind of see that you can just turn the whole thing. You can just move the whole camera.
Oh, this?
No. Just slide it. It's okay. It's okay. We're technical difficulty here. Just so that you can kind of see the poaching liquid. That little handle goes back and forth side to side. Yeah. Oh, okay, you got it. All right, that's good. Okay, so we're gonna just let this cook just probably for about maybe 8 to 10 minutes at the most, and I'll be checking them. So I'm gonna go ahead and put the lid on here. And so you can see how these, it's really nice because that just a little bit of oil on this nice bell pepper has just glistened up the spinach just beautifully. It's still crispy and wonderful, but it's gonna have just that softness and crispness all at the same time. So that is just beautiful. Okay, so I'm gonna leave it just like that because I'm gonna wait a few seconds here because I want everything to absolutely be awesome. So in the mushrooms, the same thing is they release a lot of water. We don't want a whole lot of water in the spinach. So again, we're gonna cook them pretty quickly, just so that they get just a nice softness to it, but still remain onto the crunch, okay? And actually, I'm gonna just put in a little dollop of butter here, but maybe not quite just yet. That pan's just a little too hot. So we're gonna wait a sec. That looks great. I'm so excited about this salad. I thought, oh, what am I gonna make today? And I started thinking, wow, you know, it's not really salmon season, but you can still get some really good wild-caught salmon out there. And I would love to have a spinach salad. I haven't had one of those in a long time. So again, I just kind of let myself be inspired by what it is that I want to eat. And what I tell patients is, you know, anything that you like and you have some emotional connection to, we can turn it into a keto recipe really easy, whether it is a pizza or whether it is a quiche or anything that you have an emotional connection with. Because face it, we all have what we call homemade foods. And those are those foods that, you know, our mother made for us and we grew up with them. And that was that whole sense of love that our mother took so much time to cook the food, present it, and would wait for our response in regards to, you know, we were gonna say, oh, this is so delicious. So again, it's a connectedness that we have with food. So what I tell patients, you know, when they've been on the keto protocol for a little while, and I always ask them, okay, let's troubleshoot what's going on. You know, is there anything that you feel you're missing or that you feel that you'd like to add back to the diet? Because our intention and goal is to have longevity to this protocol. And a lot of times they'll say, oh gosh, I really miss something crunchy and, you know, crispy. And I said, oh, well, you know, it's really easy to be able to use, like what we did last weekend, the carne asada with a jicama tortilla and still have fabulous tacos, or whether that we would use things like a grain-free bun that we made a while back that only had 6 carbohydrates. So honestly, there's not any recipe out there that you have that I can't turn into keto. So you can always send me your favorite recipe in regards to, oh gosh, this is something that I really love, beef stroganoff, whatever it is, we can turn those noodles into zucchini noodles and we can make it. So again, just always remember, you don't have to give up your favorite foods. All you have to do is transition them in to a keto mindset in regards to keeping the glucose down as much as possible. This week I did a lecture at the Center for New Medicine on who would benefit on a ketogenic diet. And so if you didn't get a chance to watch it, it is on my Facebook and on also my medical page. But again, share it with those people who are struggling with weight loss, issues that they're not able to lose any weight despite their exercise and good eating, people who have inflammation or cancer, or even people who are suffering from seizures as far as epilepsy. It's a great video that you can learn and glean a lot of stuff out of. All right, let me have a look at this salmon. It's looking pretty darn good. I'm gonna just take a little fork here and see how we're going with that. All right. You definitely do not want to overcook this fish. Better slightly under than too much. Just about there. So I'm going to go ahead and start these wonderful mushrooms. I'm going to plop that dollop of butter back in there. You know, whenever you have leftover salmon, I'm always thinking, what can I prepare with it the next day? So since we're going to go to the ranch tomorrow, I'm going to make a little teeny salmon quiches to take as appetizers. So that should be a lot of fun. And I think everybody is really going to enjoy them. Just going to put my little thermometer in here and see how we're going. So about at 130, I'd say it's pretty darn good. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and pop some of these mushrooms in now. Go ahead and drop all of them in there. I'm not gonna use them all for our demonstration, but again, I'm looking at all these things I'm gonna add to the quiche tomorrow. So in my mind, I'm already thinking about how I can use some of these ingredients tomorrow to make it a little bit easier for myself. You know, a lot of times patients say, oh gosh, I don't have time for cooking, and you know, and I say, well, the weekends are a great time to just kind of put things together that you can either freeze, or you can use Source Cuisine, which is a great company that we've partnered up with that prepares organically sourced food that within 48 hours after they picked it is cooked and delivered to your home. So what better service than that? So now my patients don't have any excuses at all for being successful on the protocol, and also able to have wonderful food. Normally they might go out and get fast food somewhere, even if it's just a salad or a lettuce wrap at In-N-Out or places like that. This is going to be prepared with the most ultimate ingredients and taste. So I'm really excited that we have that to offer now as well. I'm going to go ahead and take the salmon, like turn it off, and just, where's my little thing here? I'm going to pull one of these out so that you can see that. Take it out with a little slotted spoon. Everything moves. Okay. So again, I don't want to overcook these. Whatever you do, you don't want these all mushy and funky. You want them still nice and firm. I'm going to go ahead and add a little bit of salt, a little bit of pepper to this. This is so easy. So excited to try this. I'm literally going to go ahead and turn that off now. What was that, like about 2 minutes? And really, you didn't even have time to release the water. So that's exactly what you want to have happen. All right. Have a look at this fish here. So you see how it flakes really nicely? It pulled out just perfectly. So that's what you want. As soon as it flakes, that piece is ready to rock and roll. All right, so then you want to grab me that salad dressing out of the fridge. Let's make this beautiful, beautiful meal. Perfect. I'm going to go ahead and add some of these mushrooms now. And then try not to take any of the liquid. Fantastic. I'm going to go ahead and pull all the rest of these salmons out because we don't really want them to continue to poach. Excellent. Look at that. Is that gorgeous or what? How easy is this? And this is great for salads as well. We are going to go ahead and add a little bit of that wonderful salad dressing on there. Let's taste one of those mushrooms, see if we have enough salt. Perfect. I'm going to add a little pepper. Remember I said it, I forgot to add the pepper to the salad dressing here. And then again, taste it and adjust it for any seasoning that you might want to add. You might want to add a little bit more garlic. You might want to add a little bit more salt, a little more pepper. Delicious. Okay, Selena and I are going to have a great, nice little early dinner because we both have someplace we want to be tonight to celebrate, and that's why we're doing the video a little early today so we can both get to the places that we need to be. I'm going to be at the Harvest Moon Festival and going to be handing out beautiful desserts from Sourced Cuisine. So hopefully we'll see you there. So again, that looks absolutely gorgeous. I can hear Selena humming over there. That's good. I love it. Okay, excellent. And we can add a little teeny bit of cracked pepper on there. Why not? Just for fun. More the merrier. All right, let's put this beautiful. Okay, and I'm going to put one of these pieces of salmon on there. And I'm going to get Selena to come over here and be my tester. Okay,
Are we ready?
you will be ready. Okay, nice little piece of salmon on top of there. And of course we got to drizzle a little. I'm going to take that lemon off just first off. I'm going to drizzle a little bit of this nice salad dressing right over the top of that.
Yum.
A generous little amount there. She'll be very happy with that. And then why don't we just decorate it with a little teeny sprig of some nice dill there. Be gorgeous. Now look at that. Is that beautiful and so easy? I mean, this was done less than a half an hour. So there is no excuse. The only excuse is, how do I become more passionate about loving myself? And it starts right here in the kitchen. Okay, so Selena, I'm going to give you a fork and knife.
Okay.
And I'm going to let you go for this and see what you think.
Let's do it.
Okay, here's your fork.
All right.
Knife.
All right.
Dig in there, let's see.
Let's see. You know I'm going to get some of the salad in my bite too.
Good. Got to have a little bit of everything so
Yeah.
it marries well.
Yes.
I don't need to cut that little bell pepper in half if you need to. Like Alicia, she had to sniff the food before she took it back.
My Aunt Alicia.
Yeah,
That is funny.
very primal eating.
Oh my god. All right.
Okay.
And a mushroom.
And a mushroom. There we
Okay.
go.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Everything thought it would be.
Oh yeah. So delicious.
Awesome.
All of that together is so good. The dill really, puts everything together too. 'Cause, it's so different to have like dill in a dressing. A lot of salad dressings don't do like a dill.
Fresh
so
dill
it's very,
especially.
yeah, it's unique and it's really beautiful.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Well, there you go. Another sensational meal. And please share it with your friends and anyone that you think would benefit from a keto lifestyle. And we will see you next week, and have a great weekend.